All right, let's bring back Ryan Mauro, national security analyst with the Clarion Project. And Ryan, the EU is trying to protect companies doing business with Iran, and it's using the same tactic that it did to protect businesses working in Cuba before the U.S. trade embargo was lifted. How does this work exactly?
It comes down to blood money. I mean, adversaries of the West have always known that one of the weaknesses of democracies is that you can try to corrupt officials through business ties or just sheer bribery. And you are seeing the Iranian regime's long-term strategy play out right before your eyes right now, because their gamble always was that they would strike some type of deal, get European businesses involved making a ton of money within Iran, and then the result of that would be that Europe would never cooperate with sanctions again in the future because they're making too much money, and the people that make all of that money usually tend to be close to politicians. And it was wise strategy on the part of the Iranians, and look at what's happening.
Well, nonetheless, there are companies pulling back. We have oil giant Total and Maersk, that's the world's largest oil shipping container company, and they're winding down their operations with Iran. They're honoring current contracts, but they're going to pull out afterwards. So do you see these sanctions happening or taking effect, or being effective rather, regardless of EU attempts?
Well, the U.S. has plenty of leverage, whether it's sanctions directly on Iran or it's sanctioning some European companies, basically making the world face a stark choice where they have to say you either do business with the United States and our mighty market, or you do business with the Iranian regime. And every single entity around the world will choose the United States if that's the choice that they have to make. So this is, it's really disturbing what the Europeans are doing. But at the end of the day, I know that the U.S. does have the capacity to force those companies to stop doing business.
Well, does it still have that leverage, Ryan? Because that's really the issue here. Now, we know that before Obama made the Iran deal, the sanctions were working. Iran was feeling the pain, and it came to the table. It needed a reprieve. Now, many would say that that leverage was completely squandered by giving Iran too much too soon. But at this point, the U.S., without the Europeans, through its own sanctions, can it get Iran into a position where it hurts enough economically that it's ready to come to the table and make another deal, or is it too late now?
I don't think it's too late because the Iranian regime is deeply unpopular. They're going to have to become an economic powerhouse in order to make the Iranian people not overthrow them. It takes a lot of money to sustain a tyrannical, unpopular regime that invests its money in missiles, nukes, and terrorists. So the Iranian regime is still fundamentally weak.
What's the time frame then? What's the time frame then before these sanctions start to ratchet up again and take effect?
It could happen tomorrow if we really wanted it to. I mean, the impact of the U.S. forcing companies around the world to make that choice will be immediately felt, and it will cause splits within the regime. But there's silver lining here, which is that the Iranian regime is, for now, basically saying that they're going to stick to some of their restrictions within the nuclear deal. So there is an argument to be made to say, let the Europeans have some ties to the Iranian regime, because that means the U.S. is free to do what it wants, but then the Iranian regime is still stuck with those same restrictions, even though they were limited. They're still beneficial.
All right. Ryan Mauro, I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much. As always, appreciate it.
Thank you.